Hello, my name is Rebecca, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my new experiences that I did this semester of spring 2014. So this semester is supposed to do 100 new hours of new experiences, and it sounds hard, and trust me, it was very difficult. Being this is my last semester, I'm graduating, I had a lot on my plate, but I was really excited to finally finish all the things that I did. I did 17 new things, new experiences, and I have my list right here. I'm going to tell you what they are. I taught someone how to drive stick shift, which was a very interesting experience. I trained to be a server at the restaurant I've been working at for 3 years. I went to the zoo for the first time. I went to Vegas. I saw a Cirque du Soleil show, went to the Wax House. I learned to longboard, which is very interesting as well. I went to Big Hat Days. I hosted a kid's birthday party. I went to 5 different new restaurants. I went to Rada Rocas. I played bingo. I did some Spain research. I did vintage days, went to the rodeo, went to see Jane Goodall, and I took a trip to Seattle. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and I taught someone how to drive stick shift. That experience was very interesting. I taught my friend Kara how to drive stick shift, and she taught me how to longboard. So we kind of did that in the same day. And when I taught her how to drive stick shift, it was interesting being on the side of teaching instead of learning, because when I learned when I was 16, my mom taught me. I tried to do the same techniques and tell her the same things that my mom told me when driving, but it really wasn't clicking for her. So it's really interesting. What I got out of this experience was I learned that when you teach someone, they don't necessarily learn the same way you do. So I had to come at a different approach, and it took about 2 hours to do it in general until she finally got off and was able to drive the car. So that was super exciting that she actually finally did it. But I did really take out of that learning that not everybody takes direction the same kind of way, and applying it to when I want to open a business. I'm going to have to train people to do certain jobs, and that is how I would approach that. If they don't understand one way, I have a second way. I can explain it, or I can show them. So that was really interesting to come across. Next, I trained for server. It was a total of 1 week, and it was 24 hours of working of me training to become a server at Red Robin. It was my favorite experience definitely over this whole entire semester. I've been working in the restaurant for 3 years, and I've wanted to become a server, and finally taking that step and them trusting me to be a server and then me taking the initiative and actually doing everything was amazing. What I really took out of it was just getting better at my job. I try and get better at my job every single day. And the fact that I actually was able to accomplish something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time is what I took out of the experience, and that it'll only make me better for the restaurant I want to open in the future. Next, I went to the zoo. This one I'm not really sure how it pertains to me for me opening a business or for what I want to do with my career. But it was really exciting to see my roommate, one of my really best friends, Kat. She works at the zoo, and she's an anthropology major, and that is one of her goals in life. So what I did take out of it was seeing the excitement on someone else's face and in someone else's career and what they're doing, and really appreciating not just what I'm doing, but I can appreciate what other people do, which is really cool in a way, because when I talk to everybody and open a business, I'm going to have to talk to different people who have different careers. Just really cool to see how they take a perspective on their career versus what they think of my career. So that was kind of interesting. It took 4 hours. I went through the whole zoo, and it was like one of the best days ever. I loved the zoo. Next, I went to Vegas, which doesn't sound like a new experience, but it was. I've been to Vegas before technically, but it was for a softball tournament. So it really didn't count. I wasn't 21. I was like 17 or 16, and it really wasn't Vegas. So I went to Vegas, and you may think this is stupid, but I want to move to Vegas. I want to be in that restaurant industry where it's huge over there, and they make lots of money, and I feel like I can make a lot of income, and I feel like I can gain capital to open my business. So I spent a whole day, I think it was like 10, 11, 12 hours, something like that, just going. I went to the place for employment. I went to all different places, and I actually met someone. His name is Ryan. He is my stepdad's brother's old coworker, and he manages a few restaurants, or he managed at the Caesar's Palace, and now he's managing at a different restaurant. So I met him, and I have an in possibly when I move to Vegas, if it happens within the next year, because that's kind of the goal. So going to Vegas, what I took out of the experience was just appreciating a different atmosphere, looking into possible places to live, possible jobs I could have in the future. And I just overall really enjoyed the experience I had in Vegas for the first time. And while I was in Vegas, I did 2 new experiences. I went to the Wax House, and I saw a Cirque du Soleil show. The Cirque du Soleil show was really something I've wanted to do for a very long time. I love the music. I've loved it ever since my freshman year of high school when I did a performance for band based off the music from Cirque du Soleil. So I was really excited to see the show, and it was a new experience, and I really enjoyed it. And the way I'm going to tie it into it possibly working in my career is, again, kind of like the zoo, seeing how hard people work to achieve something. If you haven't seen the show, I definitely recommend it. Super exciting, and the way they train and the way they're doing things, it's unbelievable. And it just shows me that when you work so hard, you can actually achieve what you've wanted. And the show's amazing, and I just really enjoy the overall experience. And then I went to the Wax House, which is super cool. Cirque du Soleil took 2 hours, and the Wax House I walked around for about 2 hours, and it was really cool. I got to see a figure of Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, Madonna, like Michael Jackson. It was so cool. But walking in, it was just the weirdest experience. I will say out of the list, it was definitely the weirdest. And I really just appreciated that being available. I mean, that is kind of crazy to think about, but just that overall experience of just looking at just someone, it's art, like looking at what someone did and all the hard work they put in and reading everything about it. Like they literally have to sit there and take pictures of every single body angle for all the people. It takes I think it was 13 hours total of them just standing in a certain pose and then getting all the shots and measurements. And it was a lot. And I really appreciated the work that goes into that. So that's really cool for their career. The next one was an interesting one. I learned to longboard. Again, my friend Kara taught me how to longboard, and I told myself I never wanted to do that because I'm just going to fall on my face, and that's not really something I was interested in doing. But she taught me. It took me about 10 minutes just to be comfortable standing on the board, so that was really funny. But eventually I got it, and I can ride a little bit. Don't really want to, but I can, and I really appreciated learning something that I never thought I wanted to do, and her teaching me was really cool, kind of like when I was teaching her. So that was a cool experience. Next, I went to Big Hat Days, which was really cool, and I kind of want to talk about that with Vintage Days. I went to Vintage Days as well, and I took kind of the same thing out of both of those experiences. One was Big Hat Days, which is hosted by Table Mountain Casino in Old Town Clovis. The other is Vintage Days, which is hosted by Fresno State. And I really liked the idea that businesses come together and they're all in one place for people to gather. And I really think that's really cool for me in the future if I want to open, no matter where it is. It could be here in Fresno, it could be in Vegas, it could be wherever I decide to be. And it's really cool the community gets together for things like that. And I really want to be involved in the community with my future businesses or business, whatever I want to open, what I decide I want to do with my entrepreneurshipness, I should say. So that was really cool. And the experiences I just took out was that being a part of a community is something that I'm very interested in doing. And the next thing I did was I hosted a kid's birthday party. So this semester I do have an internship, and I was told those hours weren't going to count, so it was totally fine. But then I was doing something at my internship that wasn't really a part of my internship. She just kind of asked me to do it, and I helped host a kid's birthday party, which is one of their main things that we do at my internship. So I decided for the internship I'm not going to count those hours, and I'm really excited to use them for here because it was something that I didn't do for my internship ever except this one time. So it's a 2-hour birthday party, and I helped kids make pizza, and we went around and we colored and we did a bunch of fun stuff like that. And I really just took away just being there for my boss, her trusting me to do that because people were sick. And I don't know, I just took a really, really awesome thing from that I was trusted to do that. And it just shows when you work so hard and you give trust to someone, they'll trust you back. So that's kind of what I got out of that experience, and it was pretty cool. I was really excited to do that. Next, I did 5 new restaurants. I'm a very picky eater, so going out to different places is kind of difficult because I'm picky. None of them were Chinese food, though, because I'm allergic to MSG. But just trying new restaurants was really cool because I do want to open a restaurant. So getting an idea of what other places do and what works for them for marketing and things like that is kind of what I took out of the new restaurants. I went to Roger Rocca's, and as you know, I wanted to open kind of like a burlesque lounge kind of thing, so that's what I took out of that experience. Trying to go fast because I'm taking a lot of time. I went to go play bingo, which you may think sounds really stupid, but when I was there, it was totally not what I expected. There were a bunch of other people of different ages, and it was really cool to see how seriously they were taking bingo, because I was talking and I was actually doing some homework at the time, and everyone was telling me to be quiet, and I was just like, whoa. So just kind of knowing your surroundings is what I've got out of it. Knowing what is appropriate and what's not for certain different places is what I took out of that experience. I did some Spain research, and I'm super excited to go to Spain this summer. Thank you for letting this count for part of my hours. I did 15 hours of research. For 15 days, I did 1 hour. And I just did a bunch of research. I did history. I did things I could do there. I did the abroad program. I did some studies on. They did one last semester. So I looked into that. And what I really took out of it is just that it's really going to be something that I think I can benefit from this coming summer. I already talked about vintage days. I went to the rodeo, which was super weird for me because I'm so not into that thing. But I saw a concert, and what I really took out of it is that, getting to know different types of people is totally okay. People tend to stay to their own cliques, and that's okay, I guess. But I really like to branch out. I want to know different people. Again, I'm talking about meeting people in different careers and things like that. So the rodeo was just kind of an experience where I can appreciate being around different types of people and just really enjoying something that I've never done before. So, and then I went to Jane Goodall, my roommate Kat. Again, I already talked about her when I went to the zoo. She's an anthropology major. Jane Goodall is like the queen of anthropology. She is in the jungle studying gorillas and monkeys and all that fun stuff. And I just really listening to her talk about how excited she is about her career and seeing all the other anthropologists there, including my roommate. It's really cool just to appreciate another person's major and what they're doing with their life. And to wrap it up, I took a trip to Seattle. I saw the very first Starbucks, which was so cool. And then I went to their, I drove past their headquarters, which was super cool. And it really really shows me that you can do anything. I want to open a small business, and who knows, it could be the next Starbucks. So that was really what I took out of that experience, that anything can happen. So I'm really glad that I did a total of, I think, 109 hours this semester, which was a lot. And I'm really excited that I got it done. And I just want to thank you again for the opportunity for this class. And I hope you have a wonderful day.